Hi, everybody, and Happy New Year. Thank you so much for joining me today on Sigma Sunday. So today, let's talk about how smart do you think you are? And when I talk about smart, I actually am talking about emotionally intelligent. So who am I, and who am I to even ask you this question? My name is Rebecca Sonnenberg. I am a licensed clinical social worker who is here to hopefully make you a better leader, a better entrepreneur, and maybe even just a better human all the way around. Here's hoping. So, what is emotional intelligence? It's exactly like it sounds. It's just being smart about the emotions around you, not just your own, but those that work underneath you, for you, and with you. When we talk about emotional intelligence, it's interesting how many really strong, great leaders I've worked with, and they suck at this part. And I understand that this isn't like something you're going to go to school and they're going to be like, oh, here's how you're emotionally in tune with all the people that work for you. So that's why hopefully today I'd like to be able to give you that. When we're talking about being emotionally intelligent, that's being able to read a room of what your people need or what they may not be saying by even just watching their body. If you are talking to somebody and you're noticing that as you're talking to them, they're getting more and more like this, and you just keep going and their shoulders get closer to their ears, use your emotional intelligence to recognize that something's wrong. They're uncomfortable, either with the topic, with the way you're saying something, and just check in. This also, though, includes being able to actively listen. I know we've talked about this before and how this can be sometimes really difficult when we have a lot of things going on. I know for me, even, when I'm sitting with somebody and we're doing something called supervision, it's really hard because my watch is going off that I'm getting a message or an email, or I can hear my phone dinging or my emails dinging. And it's really hard to stay in tune with somebody that you're having a conversation with. But I will tell you, I've had a supervisor who very much would look at her phone while I was telling her something that was important to me. That to me instantly said that you're not listening, you're not paying attention. Even if she could hear me, even if she was able to spit back to me exactly what she heard me say, it didn't feel like she was in the room with me, and it felt horrible, to be honest with you. So one of the things you really have to do when you're actively listening is paying attention, but also actively listening. That doesn't mean you're sitting there and you're preparing your response. That doesn't mean you're sitting there and you're getting ready to defend something. That means that you're actively listening to what the person in front of you is saying and then saying back, okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that X, Y, and Z made you think that I felt or I said YWX. Okay, so that's what active listening is. It's being able to hear it, parrot it back, make sure that you're clear on what you heard, and then you can go from there on how to problem solve, fix the solution, all of the things. But it doesn't mean that you're sitting there listening to somebody checking off boxes until it's your turn to talk. That is not active listening. And trust me, this one is hard, and it takes practice, to be honest with you. And I'm not always great at it. When I'm tired, I have a really hard time where I'm not just like, okay, can we just move on and get on to the next thing? The other thing is I would really, really suggest is that you doing feedback with the people who work for you and underneath you. And again, when we're talking about feedback, this isn't just a survey of like, what do you like best about your job? What do you like least? This is like actively going to somebody and saying, tell me what you need from me. Tell me what you need from this organization. Tell me what feels like missing in your day-to-day life. Even if it's something as simple as, we used to have this really great printer system and now we have this really crappy one and it takes me 45 minutes longer to print. So now my whole day is thrown off. You may have literally gone into that thinking that that was going to be a totally different situation on what that person needed, when in fact it was just something as simple as like a new stapler. So this is why you want to have the kind of feedback of, tell me what you need. Let me hear that. It's interesting. I just read an article not too long ago about this woman who she bought baby formula during the SNAP crisis that we just recently had, thinking like, oh, the babies, they're the only ones that aren't going to have food. And she had all of this like formula that she was trying to give away and nobody would take it. And she said that she finally realized that what she did was what's like imperialism, where we assume the problem and we assume the solution rather than just stepping back and saying, what is it somebody actually needs? What are they actually telling me they want? And then I can come up with a solution instead of just jumping in and assuming this is what I know is going to solve the problem and everything's going to be great. And then it's completely the opposite. So the very last thing that I would ask you to do, and this one can also be not so much fun, is some self-reflection. This can take a part where it's just you that's taking a few minutes out of the end of your day and maybe just sitting down and saying, you know, today wasn't my best. And here's why I didn't feel like it was my best. I tell parents this all the time. When you mess up with your kids, take accountability, own it, and just say, man, that wasn't my best. I was really off my game today. I didn't eat lunch and I was a real hangry monster and I'm really sorry. This isn't any different when you're in leadership and business. You can own your shit. You can say, you know what, guys, I was in that staff meeting today and I completely went unraveled and that wasn't my best and I'm sorry. You don't have to stay with that for the next 20 years. You can just move on and just own it, right? I think a lot of times people don't realize is that an apology or just ownership can fix so many things. So can you take 7 minutes out of the end of your day, sit with that and say, okay, here's what I would have liked to have done better. Are there amends that need to be made? Or can I just move on with my day by making it better, by just being a better person tomorrow? So these are the things that I will leave you with today, and I hope they are helpful. So remember, practice active listening. It's not about responding. It's not about you being up next. It's about you actually listening to what the person has to say. It's about you getting feedback from people and being able to sit with it, even when it's not your favorite answer, and maybe realizing that the solution you were about to create wasn't even the right problem. And the last one is self-reflecting. Sitting back and saying, where could I have shown up better? Or even where did I show up really great and I'd like to make sure I do that tomorrow. Hopefully, these are some really great tips for you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please make sure you like and share. And please always feel free to add anything that you want to add, positive or negative. I also love some feedback most days. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I can't wait to see you, and I hope you have a wonderful and happy new year. Thanks, guys.